Hi, my name is Henry Mwakajumba and welcome to my channel. In 2016, I bought a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, the original, the small one. That camera was a curse. Well, to be honest, in my experience, it was a camera that I would say it somehow was discouraging me to go to film because the battery was a mess. The codec, I didn't have a good machine to edit. I knew nothing about color grading, and yet I went for it. Yes, because I had a friend who was using the same camera. I bought it for my friend. So I saw the kind of footage he was filming and the praise he was giving to the camera, but he was more professional than me. And I just jumped for it. Yeah, I learned the hard way. Fast forwarding, 2019, I bought the Canon C100 Mark II. This was a blessing. In this video, I'm not going to share all the technical aspects of the camera because I believe this camera has almost 8 years old. So probably you have come across a lot of videos that explain the technical parts. To make it simple, I think it's a Super 35 CMOS sensor camera. It's quite amazing with the price range, the time that I bought this camera. And the things that I am worshipping about this camera is that they're user-friendly. The possibility of just picking up the camera and going on set and start filming immediately, it's a plus for me. Coming from the experience with the Blackmagic, the 100 Mark II is the best experience I ever had with a camera. 2021, I shot a 17-episode TV series. I was the cinematographer myself, I wrote it myself, a bit ambitious, exhausting. The last day I finished filming, I ended up to the hospital because I was not eating well, and I'll share with you my little experience. First day of filming the movie, I left home, packed all the lights, packed all the gears, and on my way on set, and I just remembered, I forgot the camera. I didn't pack the camera. And because I was stressed, my mind was running my script in my head. I was the DOP, I was the director, the producer. So a lot of things were in my head. I felt even embarrassed, like telling the driver, say, look, we have to go back. I forgot the camera. How could you forget the camera? You are going to war and you forget the gun? Really? Yeah, so I went back, picked it up. No time, I was set. Just insert the battery and the card, boom, we're ready to go. So that's a plus for me. The camera working for me, not me working for the camera. I've been on set before where you have a cinematographer and the crew and his crew, they are hustling to get together the equipment so that you can start filming. And you are losing a lot of hours. I remember once we were shooting a commercial. I'm sorry for people that are using these gimbals and run-ins and whatever. We were on set and they were trying to balance a gimbal. It took 3 hours. We were all confused, like why this thing is so important. And that time, I think most of us, we were not very familiar with this, with the running, and it was new in the market. DJI was still new. I think it was 2017 or 2018, something like that. So at the end of the day, they managed to balance it and to take the shot. And come on, you look at the shot, you're like, really? 3 hours for this shot? And based on my experience also with my Blackmagic, I slowly developed the skill of not wanting to hustle with the cameras or equipment for the shoot. The other thing I love about this camera is the ND filters. Coming from the experience with the Blackmagic is that sometimes I was forced to crank down the shutter speed so that I can have less light to the lens, and that also ruined my skin tones and the whites in the images. So it was a mess. Right now, if you ask me for a big cinema camera that doesn't have ND filters to this one that has ND filters, definitely I'm gonna go for the one that has ND filters because it helps a lot. And I see now even Red with their big cameras, they introduced the ND filters because people have been asking for so long. And For someone that has an experience of struggling on set, you're running with the crates, change filters all the time, it's too much. You don't want that. So for me, and with my economy, with my production size, the camera like this with ND filters, with the image quality, I'm worshipping it. There are other very beautiful, amazing features with this camera, but for me, sometimes I find it's just extra, like the Dual SD card slot, the XL microphone input, the autofocus, which when you're shooting a feature film, I don't think if you really need to do the autofocus. And most of the projects that I'm doing, they need really focus, if you can say it. Because unless if I'm doing the head talks like this, YouTube videos, but most of the time I have to really pay attention to focus and not let the camera do for me. So it's 2023 and I'm starting to research which camera should I have next and which camera is going to be my next baby. Blackmagic, Sony, Canon again. I have a bit of a fear with these Sonys, the Blackmagic, of course, unless the Sony is these big cinema cameras or the Blackmagic. The 6K, the 4K, there's a lot of rigging. I'm not a big fan of rigging. It's expensive. It kills your energy to go to film. It's just my opinion. So I'm looking for a camera that is going to be again the same form, you know, like the C70, the C100 Mark II. It's expensive, but yes, it's needed rigging, but it's very rigid. You don't need a lot of tools and tiny and cables, in my opinion. And maybe I have a trauma with the Blackmagic up to now, probably. Yeah. So I'm sure if the camera has all these things I mentioned, obviously it's going to have a big sensor. That means I have a potential to use less lights on set. I have a potential to shoot in a very low light environment. And for a person like me that I do a lot of my self-funded projects, I don't want to use a lot of money in extra stuff to make the production happen. I'm looking for a camera with better feature that this camera didn't have. For example, the camera to have more than 8-bit. It's really impressive when the camera gives you this amazing color space where you can capturing images that have more juice, you know what I'm saying. And also I like the camera to have ND filters. That's a plus. That's no negotiable. If the camera doesn't have ND filters for me, even if it's Mother Alexa, I'm sorry to say, but no. I'm joking, I'll take the Alexa. And the other thing is the good dynamic range. The good dynamic range for me is the biggest tool a camera can have. And the one thing I think is not very important because I'll have to buy it. The monitor of this camera is very tiny. A lot of time I mess up the focus because of I have bad vision. So yeah, I think if I buy any camera, of course I'll have to need a big monitor to support the focus. Yeah, so thank you so much. That's it. Give me your opinion. What do you think about this video and what camera probably I should look out for and give it a consideration. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'm sorry for rambling around. English is not my first language and I'm trying. Thank you so much and stay productive. Keep making whatever you make.